There's an optimal level of adrenaline that can supercharge your nervous system without burning you out. That's right, too much adrenaline can lead to chronic stress and exhaustion and burnout, but the right amount can actually improve your energy, your mental clarity, and your overall resilience. Welcome back to the channel. Today we're talking about something that's essential for your energy, your focus, and your overall health.
The fight or flight hormone.
Adrenaline. It's produced by the adrenal glands which sit on top of your kidneys. When you're stressed, anxious, or facing danger, real or perceived, your body floods your blood system with adrenaline.
It gives you that immediate burst of energy, strength, and focus.
But what's interesting is that while adrenaline is absolutely necessary for survival, it's not just about surviving that we need in life. It's about thriving. In fact, the right level of adrenaline can be crucial for your nervous system's health. A study from the National Institute of Mental Health found that people with chronic stress, high levels of circulating adrenaline, tend to have a higher risk of cardiovascular disease. It's about finding the right balance that supports your health, and I'm going to show you how.
When adrenaline is released, it activates your sympathetic nervous system, responsible for fight or flight, and it prepares your body to react quickly. Your heart will increase, your heart rate, your blood pressure rises, it will send blood flow to your muscles, and it will help you to either fight or run away from danger. In the short term, it's great. It's exactly what your body needs in the moment. But what happens when your nervous system is in that fight or flight mode too often? Over time, this repeated activation can impair the body's ability to return back to a balanced state, back to equilibrium. And that's where the parasympathetic nervous system, the rest and digest system, comes into play. When thinking about balancing adrenaline, we need to think about balancing our stress response. And this is the issue. When adrenaline is constantly spiking, your parasympathetic nervous system doesn't get enough time to
rest, relax, restore. This can lead to burnout, fatigue, and even mental fog. So the goal isn't to eliminate adrenaline altogether, but rather to find the optimal balance where there's just enough to boost performance and energy,
but not so much that it wreaks havoc on your body.
The more often that you do this in real time, these techniques, the better your well-being will be and the better your life will be. What does optimal look like? Research from the American Psychological Association
suggests that moderate levels of adrenaline, especially during short, intense bursts,
can improve cognitive function, enhance memory, and increase focus. So short bursts.
Think of it as a performance enhancer. It helps you to rise to challenges, to stay alert without sending your body
into the crisis mode. In fact, studies out of Stanford University have found that when people experience brief periods of high adrenaline, like before a public speech or a workout, their brains actually perform better and their bodies are more energized. But the key is keeping those bursts of adrenaline short and controlled, not hours or for days. This means that the optimal level of adrenaline is the amount that you need to feel energized, to be focused and motivated without tipping you over into chronic stress mode. Think of it as using adrenaline as a tool rather than letting it control you. If you're experiencing that rush, you have to be able to return to a calm state, but then you're able to return to a calm state, you're hitting the sweet spot. So how do you safely increase your adrenaline levels to optimize your nervous system health? The answer isn't more stress or chaos. It's intentionally setting up situations that can trigger that positive burst of energy.
The easiest way to do this is through exercise.
High-intensity exercise.
Studies published in the Journal of Sports Science have shown that short, intense physical activities like sprints, high-intensity workouts,
they can boost adrenaline in a controlled way, giving you that natural rush without overloading it in your system. Exercise is one of the best ways to train your body to handle adrenaline, can increase your tolerance to stress, and recover faster. Another great strategy is cold exposure, cold showers, ice baths, even just splashing your face with cold water.
This kind of physical stress activates the nervous system. It promotes your body to release adrenaline. It improves blood circulation, and research from the Wim Hof method has shown that cold exposure techniques can also help improve mental clarity, focus, and energy.
And I've talked about how it increases calm in another video. Lastly, deep breathing techniques, particularly box breathing, have been shown to regulate adrenaline.
Deep breathing helps to activate the parasympathetic nervous system,
balancing out the surge of adrenaline,
preventing it from staying too high for too long. The trick is to use controlled breathing to manage your stress response so that you can get the benefits of adrenaline without the negative side effects.
Now, this is huge. One of the most powerful ways to regulate adrenaline is through emotional intelligence.
Being aware of how your body responds to stress and learning how to manage your emotions
when adrenaline does spike is key to keeping things in balance. Studies out of the University of Toronto show that individuals with high emotional intelligence intelligence tend to experience lower levels of stress because they're able to regulate their emotions and manage their responses to triggering situations. So if you're in a stressful situation, rather than letting adrenaline flood your system uncontrollably, you can use mindfulness, meditation, or deep breathing to stay calm and focused. Emotional intelligence is about understanding when you're feeling overwhelmed and using strategies to bring you back to balance. So how do you know if you're overdoing it with adrenaline? There's a few red flags to watch out for. If you're feeling constantly on edge, unable to relax, or if you're experiencing symptoms like insomnia, anxiety, or a racing heart even when you're not in danger, this could be a sign that your body's been flooded with adrenaline for too long. This is what we call adrenaline fatigue or adrenal fatigue. The goal is to catch these signs early and take action. So if you find yourself stuck in a constant state of high adrenaline, it's time to prioritize recovery and relaxation techniques like stretching, mindfulness, spending time in nature. It can all help lower your adrenal levels and bring your nervous system back into balance. And don't forget breathing techniques, returning to the breath. So to wrap it all up, adrenaline is essential to your body's ability to react, perform, and recover. But just like anything, too much can be harmful. The key is finding the optimal level of adrenaline, enough to keep you energized, focused, and resilient, but not too much that it overwhelms your nervous system. By incorporating short bursts of physical activity, managing your stress, and practicing emotional intelligence, you can train your body to handle adrenaline in a way that promotes health and balance. Promoting health. Remember, it's not about avoiding stress. It's about using it in a way that works for you and promoting your health. Thanks for tuning in. If you learned something today, hit that like button and share to someone who might find this information useful. Subscribe for more content on optimizing health and personal development, and I'll see you in the next video.